Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 18 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 20.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 20 be considered. Majority Leader, mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the President's reservations as per the memoranda and as stipulated on the order paper be approved. Honorable Speaker, again, this relates to acquiring of interest. Members, you remember what we were discussing in debate on whether a public officer shall, or rather, it's stipulated that a public officer shall not acquire an interest in a partnership, private company, or any other legal entity that is a party to a contract with any reporting entity under which the partnership, private company, or legal entity receives a benefit. Again, Honorable Speaker, that related to reporting entities since, as I said, PSC, JSC, ESCC, and we had sought to restrict it to only your reporting entity, but it has been restated to mean any reporting entity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Again, another interesting proposal here, in that everybody, public officers, including judges and everybody else, must know that you cannot buy shares in a bank where the JSE is actually banking, because it has a contract of banking, and you cannot buy shares in that one or any other. This is what is being prohibited, and now that it's being reinstated as a presidential reservation, we will pass it, but it's good to note what our reservations were and why the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee rejected those reservations.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 30.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 30 be considered. Majority Leader.
30. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 30 be amended as provided for in the President's reservations, memorandum of reservations, and as it is on the order paper. This is deletion of subsection 2, where we had removed that this subsection shall not apply to a member of parliament or a county assembly. Now it applies, since that is being deleted. Beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 31.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 31 be considered. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 31 be amended as per the President's memorandum of reservations and as stipulated on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to I think it relates to declarations, and there was 4 that we are deleted, which has been restated that for purposes of this section, material change means at least 25% increase or decrease in the value of an income, asset, or ability, the disposal or acquisition of an asset or ability, changes in marital status, appointment to or changes in directorships, changes in memberships in companies and partnerships and other legal entities, however established, or changes in the membership in social associations, societies, clubs, foundations, or trusts. we had deleted that particular provision in the mediated version, Honorable Speaker, and was there in the original bill, and it has been reinstated. And of course, we had very good reasons of removing that on what we are supposed as public officers, or rather what public officers must submit to the Commission in their declaration of assets and liabilities. But that has now been restated, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President, reservation to clause 35.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation to clause 35 be considered. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that clause 35 be amended as provided for in the order paper and as per the President's memorandum of reservations. Again, Honorable Speaker, this related to clause 33C, 1C, which we had removed, and it's been reinstated, just stating its completeness and correctness. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Say, Honorable mover of this bill.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, up to clause 35 and its approval.
Just read as set out.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, the clerk had given me the wrong one. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the House, reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We'll now move to the next one, which is consideration of the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025.
President's reservation to clause 3.
I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 3 be considered. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that the President's reservations to clause 3, subsection 2, be amended as provided for on the order paper and as per the President's memorandum of reservations. This, Honorable Speaker, related to the transitional clause relating to the Financial Reporting Center, where we had created a transitional mechanism that would have extended the term of the current Director General by a further 2 years, and the President has expressed his reservations to that in line with the Mwongozo policy, and recommends that the existing office holder appointed under Section 25 will continue to serve in office to complete their tenure under the provisions applicable at the time of their appointment. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was laughing at the Honorable Murugara because he has naturally dropped his amendment by the fact that he could not mobilize 2/3. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism and Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many out of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered
Chair, let me invite you again. I was
Thank
not
you.
on record. Chairperson, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and approved the same without amendments.
Mover of the bill, the Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Dorothy to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Dorothy, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do second the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Let me put the question. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, we move to the next bill. Move. Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole, or the representative.
It is now Matibani. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and approved the same without amendments.
Mover of the bill, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable Phyllis Bartow, Professor, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I propose the question. May I please have a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I second.
Thank you very much, Professor. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader, I see you are on your feet.
I don't think there are questions, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, after dropping some of the questions, what we have is responses to statements. So, Majority Leader, you may proceed with your.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the House Business Committee, and pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on prioritization of business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, I wish to officially welcome back members from the short recess. I hope we have all come back invigorated, in readiness to perform our roles in what promises to be a very busy part of the fourth session. I further urge committees with priority business pending before them to expedite consideration and submission of reports to the House so as to enable the conclusion by the House within the set timelines. Honorable Speaker, with regards to business scheduled for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to consider in second reading the Learners with Disabilities Bill, Senate Bill number 4 of 2023, and the National Cohesion and Integration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 74 of 2023, should they not be concluded today. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, debate will be undertaken on the following motions should they not be concluded in the course of business today. 1 is consideration of session of paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy. 2 is consideration of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. And 3 is report on the ratification of the Agreement on Fisheries Subsidies. Honorable Speaker, as members will recall, you issued a communication on the priority business that will come before the House during this part of the session, notably relating to the budget process. As such, members will note that the general debate on the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026 will be prioritized once the Budget and Appropriations Committee tables its report. And Honorable Speaker, I can report they have been very busy this week in their retreat finalizing on this. This will be followed by prioritization of other budget-related business, including the Committee of Supply on the estimates, the Finance Bill 2025, and the Appropriation Bill 2025. I therefore wish to urge members to be available in the House and committees and to actively participate when these important time-bound business is brought before the House for consideration. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 4th June 2025, to respond to the following questions. Question number 013 of 2025 by the member for Vihiga County, the Honorable Beatrice Adagara MP, regarding the status of construction of the Shamahoho Gitambai Road. 2. Question number 014 of 2025 by the member for Ruiru, the Honorable Simon Kingara MP, regarding the processing of the smart driving licenses in the country. 3 is question number 015 of 2025 by the member for Teso South, the Honorable Mary Emase MP, regarding the rehabilitation and maintenance of the Busia Malaba Road. 4 is question number 053 of 2025 by the member for Moiben, the Honorable Professor Phyllis Barto MP, regarding the commencement of construction works on the Tachasis, Chebiemit, Ainet, Chebarus, and Riadha roads. 5 is question number 054 of 2025 by the member for Kinango, the Honorable Gonzi Rai MP, regarding the current condition of Kinango Mariakani Road, C107, and the impact of the recent rains on its deterioration. And finally is question number 057 of 2025 by the member for Naivasha, the Honorable Jane Kihara, regarding compensation of landowners for land acquired by the Kenya Railways Corporation for the construction of the standard gauge railway and the metric gauge railway. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 3rd June 2025 to schedule business for the rest of the week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House, and thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Honorable members, before we proceed, I would like to welcome the following guests. In the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, we have Kanywa Mbora Boys High School, Mbere North Constituency in Embu County, Kajiado SDA School from Kajiado Central, Kajiado County. Also in the public gallery, honorable members, we have Limuru Girls School from Limuru Constituency, Kiambu County. Honorable members, let us welcome them our usual way. We also have in the public gallery this afternoon, Mara Christian High School from Narok West, Constituency, Narok County, Dururumo High School, Laikipia West Constituency, Laikipia County, and Mount Kenya Academy, Nyeri Town Constituency in Nyeri County. And on behalf of all those students, I would like to ask our nominated member of UDA, kindly proceed to welcome our students in the House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I take this opportunity to welcome all the learners and their teachers, both in the public gallery and in the Speaker's gallery, to the House of Parliament. I want to encourage them that today is a learning process for them. Tomorrow they'll have an opportunity to serve in this House. Feel encouraged, go back to your institutions, work very hard. I have heard the schools being mentioned, and I have no doubt in my mind that you will produce in future very good debaters, excellent legislators to come and be in this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Learners and teachers feel welcome to the House of Parliament.
Thank you very much. I would like to give a chance also to the Honorable Badi Twalib from Mombasa County to welcome our students.
Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka kuwakaribisha wanafunzi wote wa kutoka Narok, kutoka kule Nyeri pia, lakini nataka kusema kwa wawe na moyo wa kuamini kama kila kitu inawezekana. Sisi pia tulitoka hapo hapo tukitamani, lakini leo ni viongozi. Kwa hivyo pia wao naambia wasome kwa bidii, na wao pia wanaweza siku moja kuwa majority leaders kama Kimani Ichung'wah, na vile vile kuserve katika parliament hii mara 3 kama Mheshimiwa Badi Twalib. Thank you very much. Asante.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Badi Twalib kutoka Mombasa. The Honorable Majority Leader would like you to welcome these students.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to welcome the students from Mara Christian School in Narok West, Ndurumo High School in Laikipia West, and Mount Kenya Academy in Nyeri. And at least, Honorable Speaker, I couldn't fail to notice that all the students look extremely smart, and we welcome them to the National Assembly, where we sit to represent them, their parents, and all other Kenyans, oversight the government of the Republic of Kenya, and legislate on their behalf. And those who are here earlier did witness the legislative making process when we were in committee of the whole House on the 2 bills that we have considered with the President's reservations. Honorable Speaker, Mount Kenya Academy in Nyeri is one of the best performing schools around the central Kenya region, and which I know very many young people who have attended that school, even from my own constituency, and to encourage all these students to work hard, be disciplined, as we said yesterday during the prayer breakfast, that we encourage them as our children to continue being obedient, being disciplined students and young people in our country. They are indeed the future of our country, and we want to trust in God that they will grow up to be very responsible citizens of our country, whom we can vest the future of our country into, Honorable Speaker, and I welcome them to the National Assembly.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you, Majority Leader. Honorable members, we also have in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon students from Kiboron Girls High School in Rongai constituency, Nakuru County, and students from Ganaria Girls High School from Limuru constituency in Kiambu County. On behalf of the substantive Speaker, on my own behalf, and on the behalf of the House, we welcome all of you to the House of Parliament. Honorable members, now we will proceed to responses, and I can see that the chair is seated in his place. So now I call upon. What is out of order, Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, really nothing out of order. I just wanted to seek your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, for the convenience of the House again, that one, the order listed as order number 11, the chair of the committee, the Honorable Murugara, who is here, had requested that we adjourn this debate on this particular bill to next week to allow his committee to finalize work that they are doing on that bill. And having consulted him, we've agreed that we can adjourn debate on that order number 11 on the Political Parties Amendment Bill to allow Honorable Murugara's Jailer Committee to conclude the work that they are doing. And he's among the committees I was referring to in my statement that have reports pending. And he has promised that by the mid next week, that report will be ready so to allow the House to proceed. Two, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request, again with your indulgence, that the order listed as order number 10 and 12 be reordered so that we begin with order number 12 on consideration of the sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy, since the chair of the Blue Economy Committee, the very committed Honorable Kangogo Bowen, you see he has come from very far. I know where he was. And he came running to be able to move this report. So we allow him to move that report, then we can proceed to the others. Order number 8 and 10, since we had already expended order number 9. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Chair. Chair, would you like to make a comment? Because I would like to make a ruling on this one. Chairman, Honorable Member for the Raka, Chairperson.
In respect of order number 11, I confirm that is the position. Kindly let it be stood down to next week. We will be ready with other reports that members will have read, and we will be able to debate the proposed amendments to the Act. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable members, I would like to assent to the request that has been made by the majority leader. Honorable members, in regard to that, after order number 7, now we will go straight to order number 12. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, before we go to the Honorable Kagogo, we'd like to go to statements. Honorable Tongoyo, please proceed. You can start with the first one. You have actually a long list.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's true to what you say. I'm here ready with about 3 or so responses or statements. But I can only, Honorable Speaker, I need your guidance because I'm only seeing one member, a member for Kilgoris in the House. So maybe can able to respond to his and probably the rest when the members are in the House.
That we focus on responses for the members who are in the House. And in that case, for your 4 statements, the member who is in the House is the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, member for Kilgoris. So you may proceed.
Madam Speaker, I think this is a House of Records, and Madam Speaker, even getting from the last Parliament, if a member asks a question, Honorable Speaker, and in a case where that member is not present in the House at a time of response, I think previously, Honorable Speaker, the chair of a committee only needs to table the response, and it's upon the member, Honorable Speaker, who asked that question to get the written response. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, you will have members asking questions during the time of response. They are not there. And then again, chairs are told again to repeat themselves. And come next week, they are not there. I want your ruling, Honorable Speaker, that where there is where the member, I'm not referring to you, Honorable Sunguli. I'm referring to honorable members who are not here, but they have asked questions. Madam Speaker, even I have one. And if you allow us, those members who are not there, we just table the answers before you.
Honorable members, we will proceed this way. For the member who is in the House, for example, the first question which is being responded to, which was raised by the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, he's in the House, so that one will be presented. For the members who are not here, so that we do not lose time for Parliament, I would like to order that the chairperson tables on record. Thank you. So please proceed, Chairperson. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So in regards to your guidance, of course, I will have the 2, which I will table. One for record. Before I respond to the Sunguli, I've got a response from the Honorable Member for Kisii County, Honorable Doris Donya, regarding the tragic death of Sylvia Kemunto and the escalating cases of gender-based violence. As you guided, once I'm done, I will table on the table. Also, Madam Speaker, also with me here, I've got a response from the Member of Parliament for Mogotio constituency, Honorable Ruben Kiborek. I just want to show that I don't. Yes?
Just take your seat for a minute. Honorable members, the Honorable Doris Donya had written to the Speaker, and she had requested that this be deferred, and I would like to respect the fact that the Speaker granted that. So kindly defer the one for the Honorable Doris Donya, member for Kisii, and for the purpose of order, you may start with the one for the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, who is already here. Then we can proceed downwards.
So, well guided, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to respond as follows. The question from the Honorable Member for Kilgoris, Honorable Julius Sunkuli, who had sought in particular a statement regarding the land clashes in Angata Barikoi. And in particular, the Member of Parliament wanted a report on who authorized police officers to use live ammunition against the citizens. Why did the land registrar and the surveyors go to survey the land belonging to the people of Angata Barikoi without their consent? And thirdly, why did the ministry retain police officers in Logorian station beyond their useful period? And are they serving special interest? And what interest is this being served? In first response, Honorable Speaker, the government regrets the event that happened in Narok County and wishes to condole with the families that lost their loved one during the unfortunate skirmishes on the 28th April. We pray for a quick recovery for the injured. The parcel of land known as Transmara Moyoi 2, located in Transmara South, has been the subject of protracted dispute, both within the courts and through the informal channels, and the land is in question, measuring approximately 6,325 acres. The ownership of land was formally registered under the Angata Cooperative Society following an adjudication process that commenced in 1976. However, 88 land titles arising from a subsequent adjudication process in 1986 were found to overlap with a portion of Moyoi 2. This overlap sparked a series of legal disputes which escalated to the Court of Appeal. The matter was eventually withdrawn from court and resolved amicably through the mutual consent among the litigants. This resolution is documented in a Court of Appeal ruling dated the 24th October 2024. According to the ruling, approximately 1,500 acres were allocated to the Kipsix community, comprising about 624 individuals, while the remaining portion, 4,825 acres, was retained by Angata Cooperative Society with the comprising of the members of the Maasai Syria community. The settlement marked a significant milestone in addressing the long-standing tension in the area, paving the way for the peace, hope, and lasting tranquility. The same Court of Appeal ruling directed the registrar and the county surveyor to implement the terms of consent within the 30 days. On the 28th, that is a beautiful day, during a planned demarcation of the land in question, a confrontation ensued between members of the public, land officers, and the police. In the process, 5 lives were unfortunately lost. Several people, including police and land officers, were injured, and 6 vehicles torched. On the use of lethal and non-lethal force, police officers are guided by national laws, national police service standing orders, and international human rights standards. Generally, the use of force is expected to be proportional to the threat posed, necessary under the circumstances, accountable under the law. No individual or institution explicitly authorized the use of live ammunition against an armed citizen. However, officers are trained and empowered to assess the situation and respond appropriately in real time. Live ammunition is regarded as a last resort, only to be used when an officer or another individual faces an imminent threat to life or serious injury, when non-lethal options have failed or are deemed insufficient to neutralize a lethal threat. The IPOA is currently investigating the incident, and any police officer found culpable will be dealt with according to the law. As the investigation gets underway, we have taken administrative measures and redeployed all police officers in sub-county including sub-county police commander, the sub-county criminal investigation officer, and the OCS. We also transferred the deputy county commissioner. On the second, I'm still, protect me, Honorable Speaker, I'm still reading. You will have your time, Honorable Ngano. Why did the land, on the issue of why the land registrar go to survey the land, Honorable Speaker, based on the 24th, on the Court of Appeal, ruling the land demarcation.
What is out of order?
Madam Speaker,
Honorable.
I think the chair, I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I think the chair is misleading this house by stating that the DCC has been transferred and the DCC is still working there.
Chair, please, you have been in this house together with me
Yes,
from
I
the
have
year
been,
2013.
but you see, I cannot.
And
Madam
I
Speaker.
have a lot of respect for you. I know this matter is extremely emotional, but I would like to ask you to take your seat until the chairperson finishing responding not to yourself, but to the Honorable Member for Kilgoris, who is attentively listening. After that, we will give you an opportunity as one of the community leaders to make your comments. So as emotional as it might be, please keep your cool until the chair finishes. It's not upon you to tell us. It is the member who asked, but you will have your turn. You will have your chance, I promise you. Please proceed, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Because Honorable Ngeno is a high-ranking member in this House and he knows the rules and the procedures, I think just fair he allows me finish. Definitely you'll have the time to ask the necessary questions. Honorable Speaker, I was on the second question on why the land registrar and surveyors go to the land. Based on the 24th October Court of Appeal ruling, the land demarcation activities scheduled to take place on the 28th by the government officials were lawful, legitimate, and grounded in due process. On the last part, on why the ministry retained the police officers in Ngata Logorian beyond their useful period, Honorable Speaker, no officer has been retained in the Logorian police station beyond their designated or useful period. All officers posted at Logorian police station had served for less than 3 years. All transfers and postings have been carried out in restricted adherence to the stipulated National Police Service, human resource policies and guidelines. Regular staff transfers are maintained to promote efficiency, minimize complacency, and ensure that officers gain diverse experience in different operational environments. Additionally, periodic reviews are conducted to assess the duration of service in each station, and necessary actions are taken promptly to avoid overstays. The current staffing situation reflects a well-structured rotation system aligned with institutional objectives and public service best practices. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, we request members of the public to remain calm and maintain law and order and encourage the parties involved to resolve this dispute amicably. I submit and signed by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration on the 30th April 2025. Honorable Speaker, kindly, before maybe the member react to the statement, just want to remind the House, one, this question was slated to be responded to about 2 or so weeks ago, but the member was out of the country, and he did request that it waits until he's back. Also, Honorable Speaker, if you see from the response, the letter was signed on the 30th April. That is almost a whole month difference. Ever since, there is a lot that has taken place. There's a lot of water that has gone under the bridge. And I'm sure when the member will get the opportunity to contribute to this, he can be able to attest that already as we talk, there is a lot of negotiation and mediation that are underway. One actually being spearheaded by him and my good friend here, Honorable Ngeno, to look a lasting solution into this problem. Also, Honorable Speaker, it's on record, and you remember the committee that I chair on administration and internal security, couples of months ago did visit that Rangatabarikoi because of the same problem. And the report is ready even for tabling on this House. And even then, we were lucky to get even the car that we did deliver to the police to enable them respond to the distress call and able to execute their mandate. So that is the response. I don't want to preempt the issue of the DCC being transferred or not, but I want to confirm that as much as I'm concerned, the DCC had got a letter of transfer. The only hinge was the DDC, who was supposed to report, probably was going to leave, and maybe it was the issue of handing over, which we all know. This guy is a member of parliament for Kilgoris. Despite that being his member of parliament, he was a very senior civil servant before, and even here. So maybe the issue of handing over. That's what I want to state.
Chair, I think you've done
Yes.
justice.
Thank you so much.
So I don't want you to go beyond that, because we'll give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno. But I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Julius Sunkuli to tell us whether this is satisfactory or not. Please proceed.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the chairman for the statement that he has made. But before I make another comment, I would like to thank many members of this House, beginning from my own colleague, other colleague we are from Transmara, Honorable Ngeno, the majority leader of the Senate and other members who came to condole with us when the people of Vangata Barikoi lost their 5 persons. I also want to thank members of the government who came to help us, to condole, to say sorry to those who lost their lives. Madam Speaker, this thing has 2 portions. The first portion is about the land, and the other one is about security. And I must say, when the comments that have been made by the chairman on matters on security, on land, are somehow correct. Actually, let me not delve into the land issues, because there is a process that we have initiated, and the government is involved in it, and we are all involved in it, to ensure that whatever disputes in that arose from the land have been resolved. The elders from the Kipsigis community, we have met them. Government has met them. The elders from the Maasai community, we have met them, and the government has met them, and we believe that there is going to be a lasting solution on this. But, Madam Speaker, the reason why I asked this question and directed it to the chairman for security is because there were security issues. And I want to ask the chairman a few questions on security. First of all, Mr. Chairman, how can you say that there was need to use live bullets?
I'll stop you briefly. Honorable members, it is extremely important for students to get recognized. And when they come and we continue and they walk out before we recognize them, it is not in order. So I would like to welcome students. Seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, we have students from Kirobon Girls High School, Rongai constituency, Nakuru County, and from Ganaria Girls High School, from Limuru constituency, Kiambu County. You're welcome to the National Assembly. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So the chairman has said in response that police officers can use commensurate force. How did it become necessary to use guns? Did these people have guns? How did they become targets of bullets? Yet they were either armed in a lesser manner, or at least they were not armed with guns. That is not commensurate effort, and the chairman must go back and ask the minister to explain that thing. The second thing, Madam Speaker, which the chairman should tell us about this thing. Somebody must have given instructions for people to be shot dead. Somebody must have done so. And if nobody did so, is the chairman telling us today that we will never know who actually shot these people? Because our concern is we want to know who shot these people. If we know that, then criminal activities, criminal action should be taken to apprehend them. And If these people have been transferred, the police officers, can we be told where they have gone so that we can tell the people of those areas to be alert that those people are actually killers? Madam Speaker, I would like to invite, if you, with your permission, to invite the chairman to look you in the eye, and confirm that Mr. Jubat, the district, the DCC of Lolgorian or Kilgore or Transmara South, has actually left that station. And if it is true that he was transferred, can you stand and proclaim the name of the DCC who was transferred to Lolgorian to take over from him? That it is only the handing over that is waiting. Who is he supposed to hand over to? What is the name? And can he confirm that the DCC was chairing a land control board meeting just the other day? Mr. Chairman, this is giving us a serious issue because we know your integrity, but you have been made to read a statement which is not true. Those officers are well seated there, and we don't understand. We don't hate them. I personally have nothing against it. But how can a whole government stand up and say that the DCC has been transferred, knowing very well that he has not been transferred? Just tell us he's not been transferred and we will live our lives as usual. And lastly, Madam Speaker, I know that IPOA has been told to go there. And does the chairman know?
David Bowen, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if it is true.
What exactly is out of order?
Yes, the statement by the Honorable Chair. If it is true that the Honorable Chair read that the DCC was transferred and these two honorable members are confirming that the DCC is still there, Madam Chair, I think, Madam Chair, it is good that you rule that the chairman is out of order and order the Honorable CS to appear himself here because he's reading the statement on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary. Because as I heard from him, that statement was written and signed by the CS. So that now we confirm the true position. Otherwise, the two honorable members are just speaking to each other, Honorable Speaker, and we are not going anywhere.
In mind that the person or the honorable member who asked this question had not completed his questions, and his questions are very clear. I think, Honorable Kagogo, you are raising on Standing Order number 91 on responsibility for statement of fact. And from where I sit, I do not know who will take responsibility for the statement of fact, bearing in mind that the chair is reading a statement from the Cabinet Secretary. But I'm going to take into consideration what you have said. I believe the chair will also respond to that. Please conclude so that we give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno.
Actually, in conclusion, not in conclusion, the last point the last question I'm asking, how effective will IPOA be? Is the chairman aware that the police officers have been told not to cooperate with IPOA? Is there another channel that the chairman is going to use in order to bring these facts to be known? Otherwise, Madam Chair, I do not want to open the other wounds because the land issues are being resolved. We want the security issues to be resolved so that the people of Angata Barikoi can stay in peace. And if possible, Mr. Chairman, please bring back the GSU who went.
Give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno so that you can put the questions together.
Asante, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, kwa hii nafasi. Nataka niseme tu kwa usuni kwamba sisi kama viongozi, kama wajumbe, tuna jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ambayo tunaipitisha kwa hii nyumba inaidhinishwa na inapitishwa na inatumika vizuri. Pia wakati tumeteuliwa kama machairman ya makomiti, na tunajua ya kwamba mawaziri imekuwa ni jambo la ugumu kuletwa hapa. Hata wakiletwa hapa wanaletwa kwa masuala zingine. Inabidi pia kama machairman wakati tunaenda kuiuliza hawa, nazi pia tufanye upelelezi wetu, ndio tukikuja kujibu tujibu maneno ambayo tunajua inastahili kujibiwa kwa hii nyumba. Nasema hivyo Madam Speaker kwa sababu watu walikufa, watu waliuawa, na sio ile kuuawa ile labda saa zingine unapiga mtu mguu risasi alafu anavuja damu mpaka akufe, ama amepigwa kwa tumbo ndio baadaye labda aende akufe kwa hospitali. Watu 5 waliuawa na 4 walipigwa risasi kwa kichwa, kumanishwa kwamba kulikuwa na amri ya kushoot to kill, piga risasi ya kuua, sio ya kuumiza, sio ya kudemobilize, piga risasi kuua. Kwa hivyo anga mimi sikuwa mwenye aliuliza hiyo swala Madam Speaker, but ordinarily swali kiulizwa kwa hii nyumba inakuwa property ya hii nyumba. Kwa hivyo kila mjumbe anastahili kuongelelea na kuulizia kama hiyo swala imejibiwa vizuri. Jambo yenye ninaamini ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Julius Nguli ambaye ni jirani yetu mwema alitaka kujua sana, ni sio sana mambo ya ardhi, kwa sababu mambo ya ardhi ingeulizwa kamati yenye inahusika na ardhi. Hii swala iliulizwa kamati ambayo inahusika na usalama wa nchi ya Kenya. Yale maneno yote ambayo tungepewa hapa ni kuhusu wale watu 5 waliuawa. Kama idara ya usalama imechunguza mpaka iko na postmortem ya kuonesha kwamba hawa watu 5 waliuawa kivipi, na bunduki gani, risasi ya nani ndio iliua hawa watu, ndio saa hii tungesomewa Madam Speaker list ya wale maaskari ambao waliua hawa watu. Hapo ndio nafikiria hata mheshimiwa mwenyewe angetarajia hiyo swala ijibiwe, kwamba ni wakina nani waliua hawa watu na ni hatua gani yenye sheria ama serikali imechukua dhidi ya wale ambao waliua hawa watu. Kwa sababu tumeona mambo mingi ikiendelea Kenya hii, including mambo ya kushika watu, kushika wanasiasa, kushika watu ambao wanafanya mambo kidogo kidogo sana. Lakini ikifika mahali ambako polisi wenyewe wameifanya makosa kama ile alifanya huko Ang'ata Barigoi, hata saa hii tukiongea, wacha hata kukamatwa, wacha kusimamishwa kazi, wacha hata kupigwa transfer, hawajapigwa transfer mpaka wa leo tukiongea. Maaskari, DCC mwenye alipeana orders, na tunashangaa Madam Speaker, na hili swali yenye chairman pia anafaa kuenda kuangalia vizuri. Nani anapeana orders? Kwa sababu tuliposema kwamba sheria ya nchi hii ilipopitishwa kwamba kikatiba polisi hawavai kupokea orders kutoka mtu yeyote ila tu kwa polisi. Hii mauaji yenye ilifanyika Ang'ata Barigoi, orders ya kuua ilitokana na DCC ambaye aliamurisha hii maaskari wapigwe watu risasi. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker,
Honorable Johanna.
Yes.
Do not debate. Just ask specific questions to the chair. That will help.
Nimeuliza kama 3 hivi.
I give you 2 minutes now.
Nimeuliza kama 3 hivi. Maaskari ambao walipiga hawa watu risasi wako wapi? Wako kazini, wamekamatwa ama wamevutwa kazi? Hiyo ni swali ya kwanza. Swali ya pili, DCC ambaye tunaambiwa kwamba alipigwa transfer, ambaye saa hii ako ofisini huko Lolgorian, mimi mwenyewe ningependa kusema ya kwamba labda hiyo sio makosa ya chairman, lakini tungependa Mheshimiwa Speaker, huyo waziri aletwe hapa ajibu kwamba huyo DCC bado wako kazini ama hayuko kazini. La 3, tungependa pia tujue kutoka serikali, hii mauaji inaendelea Kenya mzima. including hiyo Ang'ata Barigoi, including hata hii ya priest yenye aliuawa juzi na risasi. Hii watu na including pia, kwa sababu baada ya hawa watu watano kuuawa, siku mbili baadaye mtu mwingine pia hapo aliuawa na risasi, lakini mpaka waleo hakuna mtu amekamatwa. Wale watano hakuna mtu wenye amekamatwa wenye alihusika. Yule moja pia ambaye anaitwa Lang'ata hajakamatwa mwenye waliuaua. Yule priest yenye tuliona juzi hata hajazikwa. Wale watu walimuua hawajakamatwa. Kwa hivyo tunataka kujua kama serikali inahusika na haya mauaji ama wao wenyewe wameshindwa kutekeleza hiyo kazi.
Chairman, I would like to give you a chance to make comments on this, so that we make a decision on what will be done.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But before I kind of respond to, it's worth to note, Madam Speaker, that besides being the chair of this committee, I'm equally a member of the Narok County, where my two colleagues also come from. And the people of Ang'ata Barigoi are my great friends and supporters. And I'm equally affected by the loss. And I think I made that one very clearly. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, is also worth noting, as well put by yourself, that of course the statement is written and signed by the Speaker, by the CS. And the statement was signed and written on 30th, almost a month ago. So if for some reasons, maybe some information, especially on the transfer of the DCC, I may need to look for the latest update status report, because as far as I know, that DC was supposed to be transferred immediately. The CS was there, he pronounced it, and I actually want to ride on actually what my colleagues have said, that unless it's serving somebody's interest, that DCC was supposed to have been transferred just immediately. And if it is still there, I need actually to look the reason why it's still, because the issue of handing over may not take a month. But if need be, as asked by Sunguli, maybe next week, Honorable Speaker, I can able to come with the latest update, especially on what happened with the DCC was supposed to go there. On the issue of IPOA, I want to assure the House and the country that this is an institution that is mandated by law to look excesses of the police. If there are rogue police officers who take the law by their hands and kill innocent Kenyans, the IPOA is the mandated institution to undertake investigation and bring them to books. And I want to assure the country and the Member of Parliament that they are well-resourced, they're well-competent, and they can able to do the job. And I want also to say, Madam Speaker, on the issue of the police officers who were stationed in Ang'ata Barigoi, at least that one I can confirm that the majority of them have been since transferred. But if there is one or two who have not, I can still able to make the case with IG so that they can able to be transferred. Because until then, at least the people who are affected will able to see sense of justice and fairness being done. On the other question, because I think the issue of the DCC, I made it clear, you can give me to Tuesday next week to give the status update on why the DCC is still in Lorgorian, because I'm not aware whether he chaired the meeting. I think that is all I have to say. I want also to appreciate, Madam Speaker, that as much as has been confirmed by the two colleagues, there is a lot of negotiation and mediation ongoing on the issues of land. And I'm very hopeful that we can able to get an amicable solution and a lasting peace into this problem. And once the issue of land is sorted, because it has been the cause of all this problem, then the security issue will be also equally be sorted.
Honorable members, I do not know whether you would like us to continue doing the back and forth. I want to give a ruling, honorable members, because the House must make progress. We have several questions to be responded to. And I have listened to the honorable member for Kilgoris, and he appreciates that the question is partially satisfactorily responded to. But there are a few issues that he needs to be updated. And the chair has committed to be able to avail this information in a week. I give you, okay.
And I'm sure that's what he wanted. On the issue of the use of live ammunition, it's very clear, Honorable Speaker, here, even from the response from the Speaker, from the CS, and read by myself. No individual or institution explicitly authorize the use of live ammunition. So I think that should get on record. The statement is here. I will table on the House so that we don't get confused. There is no authority whatsoever given to anyone to kill innocent and unarmed Kenyans. So I think that should be rest of that.
Honorable members, for the purpose of progress, the chair will avail responses to the questions that have been raised by the Honorable Member for Kilgoris and the Honorable Johanna Ngeno next week in your committee sittings. Thank you. In committee, not in the House, Honorable members, in the committee. You have other questions? The question by the Honorable Doris Donya, that one we have said deferred on request to the Speaker, which was assented to. The other two, please table on record.
I think I'd read them. Actually, it's only one. The other one was not ready.
I can assist you. The one by the Honorable Adan Kainan, member for Elders.
Madam Speaker, I don't have that one ready.
Sorry. I want to take that again. Listen, by the Honorable Beatrice Kemei. She's not in the House, so would you like to table on record?
Unfortunately, actually, it is listed, but I don't have that response, rather. But I have one for the Mogotio.
That one is deferred.
Yes.
The one for the Honorable Ruben Kiborek, member for Mogotio.
I will table it on the table.
Proceed to table, please.
Okay, thank you.
The one for budget. I'll go now to the one for blue economy. Please proceed, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have a response of a statement by the Honorable Kainan, who is the Member of Parliament of Elders. And Madam Speaker, I want to be on record that I have the response from the Cabinet Secretary, Engineer Eric Murithi Muka, and I want to table the response, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, the other statements. You have tabled on record, Honorable Chair. Thank you. Honorable members, the other statements, I defer all to a time when they'll be scheduled by the House Business Committee for the convenience of the House. Yes, we can. Okay, next order. That will be number 8.
Order number 8, motion, third report on consideration of the audited accounts of specified corporations. Mover to reply.
Yes, there is a honorable member who is ready to reply on behalf of the chair. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply on behalf of the chairman of PIC on social services, administration, and agriculture. Madam Speaker, I'm a member of that committee. Madam Speaker, I want to thank members of Parliament that responded and gave their views on the report. As a committee, we've taken note of all the responses, and we're going to utilize those responses and counsel in our next reports. Madam Speaker, I only want to beg that the Committee on Implementation, once this report is adopted, will be able to take up and fast track all the recommendations that we made in that report, so that the state corporations will be able to utilize the responses and the recommendations and align with the regulations and what we recommended. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Also, for the convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question to a time when it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. Honorable Kagogo, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to move the motion that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation and its consideration on a sessional paper number 7 of the National Sanitation Management Policy laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and approves the sessional paper subject to the revisions contained in the schedule to the report. Honorable Speaker, this policy was developed by the ministry together with the African Population and Health Research Center. And Madam Speaker, the policy aims to streamline the sanitation management in Kenya. Its objectives includes expanding the access to safe, improving public health outcomes, and reducing environmental pollution. It also addresses the long-standing gaps in governance, financing, and infrastructure development related to sanitation. The constitutional basis of the policy, Madam Speaker, lies on Article 43, Sub-Article 1B of the Constitution, which guarantees every person the right to accessible and adequate housing to a reasonable standard sanitation. Furthermore, paragraph 11B, part 2 of the 4th schedule assigns the function of sanitation services to county governments under the devolved system. Honorable Speaker, sanitation has historically been neglected. And that is why we have this, we are coming up with a national sanitation policy. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that despite the constitutional and environmental imperatives for sound legal regime to support the right to sanitation and devolved service delivery, the current legal and regulatory framework remains fragmented. Sanitation-related provisions are scattered across multiple laws, many of which treat sanitation only as a peripheral issue. Madam Speaker, as it is, when you talk of sanitation, you will find that under the Ministry of Education, there is a sanitation in terms of building toilets in public schools or all the primaries and secondary schools. When you go to Ministry of Health, there is also the issue of sanitation. When you go to urban planning, there is issue of sanitation, and they have their own policies. That is why, Madam Speaker, there is need to have one national sanitation policy. And as such, there is a coherent, there is no coherent legislative or regulatory framework articulating the normative principles, institutional arrangements, and governance structures reflective of modern international constitutional and policy development. This policy, Madam Speaker, seeks to bridge these critical gaps. Honorable Speaker, the committee made several key observations during the review. For example, the policy proposes an enactment of environmental health and sanitation bill to address the fragmented sanitation laws. However, the committee recommends that the ministry, that's the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, also considers amending the Water Amendment Act, CAV 372, to incorporate the sanitation issues, as these are closely intertwined and with water management and related infrastructure. The committee further recommends that the policy be reviewed to align with the recent legislative changes, together with the area of waste management, to ensure consistency in the definitions and terminologies used, such as the terms sanitation. Honorable Speaker, clarity on the roles and responsibilities of the national government and the county governments and other stakeholders is essential. Paragraph 6 and 7 of the policy refers to an annual multi-stakeholder review forums coordinated by the ministry responsible for sanitation. This forum is intended to monitor and evaluate the policy implementation based on a clear national guidelines. The committee recommends that these guidelines, regulations to be developed by the ministry, should explicitly outline the mandates of the county governments and relevant agencies to avoid the overlaps and conflicts in the implementation. After a thorough review of the session of paper number 7 of 2024, Honorable Speaker, and the consideration of the submission by the key stakeholders, the committee recommends the approval of the policy, subject to the revision outlined in the Schedule 1 of the report. And Honorable Speaker, when we sat as a committee and there were, the ministry appeared before us and many stakeholders, we realized, Honorable Speaker, that as a government, over the years, we've been looking into the water projects, water distributions, and we've been disregarding the sanitation over a while. And that is why when the ministry, together with the stakeholders, Honorable Speaker, came up with this policy as a committee, we thought it is wise that we prove it before this House, and we approve that report. Madam Speaker, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the members of the Committee of Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation for their diligence and dedication during the processing of this policy, and also thank our Secretariat for their unwavering support and the stakeholders also who made their submissions. And indeed, Madam Speaker, I want to ask the honorable colleagues, the members of National Assembly here, that you go through that report, the report which I tabled some time back in this House, Honorable Speaker, and I want to persuade all of you that we approve the national sanitation policy so that it becomes a framework for any institution which is coming up with any sanitation legislation, whether the county government or anyone else. We have a framework as a country. Madam Speaker, I want to move
and then ask my colleague and a member of the committee, the Honorable Dorothy Mudhoni, the member for Meru County, to second. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Mudhoni, please proceed. Please trace the Honorable Mudhoni and make sure that she has a microphone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my chair, Honorable Boyen, for bringing in this very important submission before the floor of this House. Honorable Speaker, sanitation has historically been neglected in the water policy framework, leading to minimal investment in this particular sector. According to the reports by the World Bank and UNICEF, 2021, only 16% of urban Kenya had sewer coverage, and 21 counties which have no sewer coverage at all. Honorable Speaker, that is why it is equally very, very important that as a house, we all join in and support this agreement on the sessional paper number 7 of 2022 on the National Sanitation Management Policy. Honorable Speaker, it's important to note that for a long time, as the chair has indicated, we have always thought about water connectivity. We have endeavored to ensure that we have water in every household, but Honorable Speaker, we have forever forgotten about the sewer connectivity. It is important, Honorable Speaker, that for us to succeed as a country, we must work jointly, both the county governments and the national government, to ensure that this sessional paper serves the intended intent, so that as we endeavor to connect water in all the households, we equally endeavor to have sewer connectivity. Honorable Speaker, this will avert even hygienically, we will have our towns clean, we will have a clean environment where we will not be worrying about waterborne diseases and other dangers that come with sewer system spilling all over. Honorable Speaker, I want to say I second this motion and I urge the House to support this. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its consideration of sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and approves sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy, subject to the revisions as contained in the schedule to the report. Yes, Honorable Songuli.
Madam Speaker, I would like to support this policy, although in my opinion, it is not adequate. And I have not heard the chairman or the mover of the motion say how much public participation this has gone through, or at any rate, the quality of the public participation for this. Because, Madam Speaker, this is an area of our life that actually requires a lot of attention. I know that at the preamble at one of the preambles, the the principal secretary, Mr. Julius Kurir, has said that the intention of this policy is to make Kenya a clean, a prosperous, and secure country. But you can see, Madam Speaker, because all of us travel, especially to the West, that we are still below the mark a lot. And that we need actually to pay attention to our sanitation among everything else. You know, when you go travel outside Kenya, you get the impression that people believe that Africans are dirty and that things that come from Africa are not clean. The food is not clean. And when you visit Africa, you visit with a bottle of water because the water is not clean. I was in Geneva the other day, and in Geneva, you are advised not to buy water because the water from the tap is clean. But we need to pay attention to a number of things. The first thing that I would like to ask that this policy, although it has been mentioned, is on this issue of defecation. That many people in our country still go to the bush to answer the call of nature. And this in itself has a lot of problems because sometimes the places where the people go to have to call of nature are places which are close to the water sources, and that in the end, this finds itself in our water and makes it dirty. It must be a strong part of the policy that in every marketplace, in every town, the county government must provide toilets for the people. It must be the case. And that we should eradicate totally this idea of open defecation. There are some markets I have visited, Madam Speaker, where they are asking the MP, can you do for us a toilet? So you wonder, if you don't do that, and the county government has not done so, what are the people going to do about their sanitation? The town is going to be dirty, and you are not likely to find a bush nearby that is clean enough for even the goats to eat the leaves. This is one issue that becomes very important. And Madam Speaker, there are a lot of bad manners that we Kenyans have that we need to get rid of in order for our country to be clean. If you are driving from Kisii to Nairobi, on the way, you have to be careful to close the window because somebody is going to eat something and throw the litter on your car. And if your window is open, it will actually hit you. But even if it does not hit you, some of it hits the ground. And if we do not get rid of these bad manners by legislation, it is going to be a problem. Many people have made a policy in their countries that if you are chewing gum, you have to bear a certain level of responsibility because gum in itself is not biodigestible. And things that are not biodigestible are going in the end to ruin our environment. But more fundamentally, Madam Speaker, in how many counties do we actually have a sewage? We are still using the old system where we build houses and you have your own septic tank and you don't know eventually where this is going to land. As a matter of policy, each county must provide for each town and have a place where the waste, either solid or liquid waste, eventually lands. That is what this policy seems to lack. And we need to embed in these policies. We do not give counties a responsibility without giving them a punishment against it. We must say what exactly happens to counties that do not provide for sewages, that do not provide for sanitation. Madam Speaker, I hope that eventually this policy will be amended, that eventually this policy will be brought to be customized, and more public participation, better public participation, be carried out so that we can have clean and safer cities. I support.
The Honorable Rindikiri Mugambi, member for Vuri. Some people would like to call it Bori, but it is Vori.
That's the correct pronunciation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the national sanitation policy is long overdue in this country. Mr. Speaker, having a clean sanitation facilities is embedded in our Constitution, that every Kenyan deserves clean and sustainable environment, particularly sanitation framework. Madam Speaker, a policy is a guide on planning, Madam Speaker, on implementation, regulation, and monitoring. That's what the policy is supposed to address. Madam Speaker, a policy, just like my colleague Honorable Sunkuria said, is supposed to set clear objectives of what needs to be achieved. Madam Speaker, it needs to set standards, the scope of and coverage. It needs to set the institutional frameworks. It also needs to set how the financing will be done. It's also supposed to set the relationship between the county government and the national government. And it's also supposed to be setting how the monitoring upon implementation will be carried out and evaluated. What the chairman of the committee has done, he has just given us a very generalized view of what the policy is, but it lacked some information that is very key, because this is not a preserve only of the national government. There is interagency relationship that need to be put in, meaning we really need to call out a very detailed public participation to hear the views on what Kenyans would like to have in this policy. It's true, the session number 7 of 2022 stipulated and gave the general guideline. It's upon us now to move to the second step and try to actualize. And I believe that is what the committee is trying to do. But for this purpose, because we are operating not at the international level of what can be defined as the best practice of having the best sanitation, it is high time that more time is spent so that we can come up with a clear policy that is acceptable, particularly because there are variations in the areas that is going to be implemented. Madam Speaker, you will realize that when we talk about the urban sanitation facility, we have the cities with a very high population. We have what we call the municipalities. We have the market centers. And all these require different levels of sanitation facilities. Meaning, we have to have adequate financing which need to be embedded in the policy. And saying that we are going to spend this amount of money, particularly on sanitation facilities, so that that money is guided, is not overutilized for other purposes. Madam Speaker, Kenyans, after 60 years of independence, we need to be enjoying the best clean water. But now if you come to this city of us, Nairobi, I think majority of the rivers in this city are polluted against the international standards of human existence. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, we have seen the national government being blamed on certain of these things, but it's a preserve of the county because water is a devolved function. So this policy must take cognizance of the fact that the county government have agreed.
I'd like to give Senior a minute to conclude. Would you like to conclude in a minute? Okay.
So, Madam Speaker, this is a very serious policy. It's not just a simple policy that didn't need to pass it through just because we need to pass it. After 60 years of independence, we lack a policy that is going to guide us for the future. So appealing to this House, just like my colleague Senior Sunkuli has said, we need to go deep and put more meat on this policy. To me, this is just given a very small part of what this policy need to be. So I'm asking this House, please let's go back. Let's start from the bottom, going up from the small market center, because the population is increasing in towns. There's a lot of movement towards towns. But once you go to the town, the scarcity of water increases. So
we give a chance. I'll give a chance now to the Honorable Adan Haji, member for Mandera West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was eagerly waiting for order number 15 to move that bill, but I'm also going to say one or two things on the policy. It is important that we have a policy on environment because this is where we live in, and the environment affects everybody. Everybody in this earth is affected in one way or another, and therefore, by having clean environment, by having proper disposal of sewerage, it means that the lives of people with proper disposal of sewerage are far much better. They will be healthier. And by polluting our environment, it means that our lives are compromised and even the lifespans are shortened. And therefore, it is very important to have a national policy, and as my colleague said, at different levels, because we need to have different areas or different urban centers, villages, municipalities. We need to have each one of them a proper way of management of the environmental pollution systems, and hence this policy must be very explicit. What we have now is rather a skeleton. It must be very explicit. It must show steps that are expected to be taken from the very low village level to the urban cities, so that once it is passed and put into law, then we don't have to come up with annual amendments of the bill because ABCD has not been taken care of. With these few remarks, I think I say I support, but need to do a lot of work. I'm eagerly waiting for order number 15, Madam. Thank you, sir.
The Honorable Oscar Namulindo, member for Matungu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me a chance to express myself on this motion before the House. And from the onset, I would like to say that I support the motion as on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, the National Sanitation Management Policy actually is long overdue, and it should have been enacted in this country almost 30 years ago. Madam Speaker, right now, it is a shame as a country that 50 plus years after independence, we still have polluted rivers, polluted lakes, and we do not have a very elaborate system on how to manage our waste disposal systems. Madam Speaker, first I would like to thank the chair who moved this motion for coming up with this motion today so that we can have this management, sanitation management policy in place. Madam Speaker, unfortunately, as I listened to the mover, I did not get true facts or real facts about how we are going to manage to have a policy of sanitation management in the rural areas. Madam Speaker, I'm here representing a constituency, a rural constituency, but the policy is majorly concentrating on the urban areas and how to manage sanitation in the urban areas. But in the rural areas is where the majority of Kenyans live. In the rural areas is where very many families actually call home forever and they do not have anywhere else they can go. Madam Speaker, up to now, even as we speak, we have so many families that do not have water. We have very many families that do not have a compost pit or a dump site, and we have very many families which do not have a toilet. And therefore, Madam Speaker, there is need for this national sanitation management policy to put into consideration how we are going to handle the sanitation issues in the rural areas where the majority of voters of this country live. Madam Speaker, even as we speak, there are so many people who do not have access to toilets in the rural areas. And what happens is that actually they make use of the bush, as one of the members said. But unfortunately, Madam Speaker, nowadays, we don't have many bushes because people have, population has increased. People have built houses everywhere. So where do people get bushes? So there are no bushes. So what do? They resort now to the flying toilets. The flying toilets are no longer a preserve of the urban slums. They have now even moved to the rural areas because very many families do not have this simple facility like a toilet. And even in the rural areas, when you come to rivers or lakes, whatever water body that's available, there is serious and gross mismanagement of sanitation on those rivers. You will see most rivers, people bathe directly in the rivers, while others are bathing upstream. The others will be drawing water downstream. And they even wash their utensils, they wash their clothes directly in the river. And that actually impacts negatively on the sanitation of that water body because others use the same water for drinking downstream. So, Madam Speaker, there is need for us to also consider the rural areas when we are making these policies so that we don't look like.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Professor Phyllis Bato, member for Moiben. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support the bill from the Department of from the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on this particular policy, because, Madam Speaker, in as much as it has been said by my colleagues, and I agree that the policy should go deeper and try and address every other issue, I agree that it is a very important bill because of what is happening in Kenya at the moment. Madam Speaker, water and sanitation has been skewed to the issue of water alone, to an extent that the issue of sanitation has been relegated. Madam Speaker, in Kenya, as we speak, water and sanitation is focused mostly on people, on the haves. I mean, it's a very rich affair. It's for the rich, for that matter, because it is only those who can afford to go to places. I mean, if you want to go to a washroom in an urban area in Kenya today, if you don't, you can only visit an hotel, a luxurious hotel or any hotel which has. But for any ordinary Kenyan, you must part with some money for you to get the services. So it becomes very difficult, and it is a nationwide problem, Madam Speaker. A case in point is my county, Uasin Gishu. You can imagine Uasin Gishu County, which houses the city of Eldoret, doesn't have an effective sewer line. So you can imagine that is a city, just like Nairobi City and Kisumu and Mombasa. What happens to the other small urban areas? What happens to the rural areas? It becomes a very tricky situation. So I wish that this policy comes up to address and is cascaded to the entire country, from the urban areas to the rural areas, so that everybody benefits. Water is still also a major problem. In as much as we have, the country has tried to address the Constitution, Article 41 on housing and sanitation, water in urban areas is still a problem. Water in rural areas is a problem. Sanitation, you know, water and sanitation are one and the same. You need water for a clean environment. We have also concentrated on planting trees, greening Kenya, but we have not concentrated on waste management. Such that we have, small business people have come up with ways of managing waste in Kenya, like in our estates in Kenya, for instance. You will find that we have organizations which have taken up the matter, and they are very exploitative. They charge Kenyans very exorbitantly for waste management. So I hope that when we come up with this clear policy, watertight policy, it should address all the issues, including the issue of finance, so that we don't come up with a policy which eventually it ends up exploiting the Kenyans, the Kenyan nation more. Those small those business people who have started, who try to manage the waste, should not be overtaxing or overcharging. If you visit, it has become a very serious business for anyone who has connections and can get access to getting a license to manage waste, because you charge any fee irrespective of what services you are going to provide. So, Madam Speaker, now that my time is up, I really support this policy, and I wish that the committee goes further and does public participation and gets the views of every Kenyan, so that once it is done, we will not go back and forth revising it. I support the bill.
Thank you very much, Professor Barto. The Honorable Caleb, member for Machakos Town.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I raised to support the bill for the National Sanitation Management Policy. And I join my colleagues when they say that the policy should have gone deeper, actually, to really take care of the sewer part. You know, we've dealt most of the time with water. And we concentrate our efforts in water area. But we forget that this water that we use, it goes to become sewer. It goes somewhere else. And wherever it goes, it has to be managed. When we have a clean environment, we have a healthy nation. And when we have a healthy nation, even the life expectancy of the nation is high. So I raise to support, but ask the committee and the chair to go deeper and deal with the issue of sewer system. Because in my area, we have a river called Athi River. And Athi River is purely now sewer, because all the houses, the dwellings that are around the river emanate raw sewer to Athi River. And then that raw sewer goes to the big dam that we are building in Thwake. So if we do not take care of the sewer system and have good policies that are taking care of the sewer, we are going to have a big sewer in the name of a dam called Thwake, which is costing the government a lot of money. So Michuki tried to clean the river, and it is possible. It is very possible for us to clean the Nairobi River and the rivers that surround the cities, so that we can have clean rivers. We also have some effects of having this sewer in our lower area. You go down from Machakos, you know that river flows from Machakos, goes to Mwala, goes down to Thwake. You find that we have funny diseases that are being caused by this unkept or not properly managed sewer or properly managed river, like cancer. In the industries that surround Athi River, as I said, Madam Speaker, they emanate all the carcinogenic waste into that river, and then it goes down. That water is used by people in Mwala, in Machakos, and it is very dangerous water because it has these cancer-causing chemicals, the carcinogenic chemicals. So, Madam Speaker, I support the motion, but we have to go deeper and further to really bring policies to take care of the sewer system. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member for Machakos Town. The Honorable Agnes Pereyo, Member for Narok North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the bill. This is a very important bill. The sanitation bill is very important. And I think it should go beyond the urban areas and consider the rural areas. Because when you look at the rural areas, people have no toilets, and the rivers that are there are dirty, not fit for human consumption, because these people don't have where to go. And I think it is time that the county governments take the responsibilities to make sure that in all towns and in all markets, they build toilets for the people that attend the market. And I think it is time that we consider our people and make sure that they don't also take contaminated water. So I think it is important for the bill to be looked at again so that they can bring in the rural areas, and so that we can make it a bit stronger to make sure that it addresses the problems that are faced by our people. So I support the bill, and as the Speaker said, most of the towns or markets have no places where people can release themselves. So I support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Agnes. The Honorable Salah Yakub, member for Fafi. Honorable members, it's a report by the departmental committee for those who would like to debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the chance. I rise to support the motion on the House on National Sanitation Management Policy. This is a policy which has been lacking in our management of sanitations in the country. We support this motion because of many reasons. One is that improved sanitations leads to improved health. Improved health leads to reduced budget of national health expense. Madam Speaker, most of the diseases now this country is facing is infectious diseases which are either airborne or waterborne. These are diseases related to sanitation. Lifestyle diseases are very rare, although on the rise, but were it that today we had a compromised and a holistic sanitation policy, then the issue of infectious diseases could have been on our tables today, which means our budget on national health could have been reduced. Madam Speaker, sanitation levels in our counties have really reduced, is appalling, that's what I mean. A case in point is, I come from Garissa County. The headquarters of Garissa County is Garissa Town. There's a sewage done by World Bank to the tunes of billions. But 75% of Garissa Town residents still use septic tanks. They are not connected to this sewage line. And the sewage itself is bursting as we speak today. And because there's lack of sanitation policy, which leads to an act which could have led to people being held culpable, that effect of that sanitation or sewage of such magnitude is not felt in Garissa. So inception or consideration of this policy will help cater for such incidents. Garissa County, 70% of it uses underground water. Underground water, consumption of underground water is subject to sanitation level. Majority of people use pit latrines in those areas. So our consumption of that water could have been of higher standards if sanitation policies in this country were in place. Wajir is a case in point, where the water table of Wajir town is very low. And most of the water of Wajir town comes from underground water. Sanitation is appalling. 60 years down the line in independence, Wajir headquarters, Wajir town today has no sewage, functioning sewage project or of the magnitude of millions. I don't know whether it's existing, but I think it's not there. So we are supporting this policy because we know the effect it will have on our people. We know the effect it will have on this country. We know that as a developing nation, we want to reach the level of developed countries. And if you want to do that, then the sanitation level in your country should be of higher standards. If you see a neighboring country like Rwanda, you will be shocked the level of cleanliness of that environment because they have functioning policies and acts which are in place. Our dump sites in this country are not to the standards of MCA laws. Anybody who feels like dumping something dumps wherever he wants. County government have no functioning legislature guiding most of them, or if they are there, they are not enforced to the level it's needed. Our hospitals lack incinerators. Because of that, you will see when you go to hospital, when you visit a hospital facility, you will be shocked to see the number of needles, used needles, syringes, bandages, which have infections lying around there. So a policy like this, national sanitation management policy, will help us convert such kind of incidents, make this country a healthy nation, give us a clean environment, reduce our national health budget. Madam Speaker, I rise and I gave my submission to this in that I support this policy, and I hope this policy is fast-tracked so that we have an act guiding to that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, there be no other interest in this bill. I would like to call upon the mover to reply. And information on the Speaker's desk is that the Honorable Dorothy Ikiara, you are replying on behalf of the mover, the chairman of the committee. Please proceed to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I first want to take this opportunity and extend my sincere thanks to all members who have contributed to this very, very important debate. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that investing in sanitation is not a choice. It is something that we must do. Honorable Speaker, in the 21st century, it is not anything to pride ourselves in when we are talking of areas without proper sanitation. Honorable Speaker, I want to allay the fears of the members that we are only talking of the urban centers. I did mention that 21 counties have not even attempted to have sewer lines in their counties. And when we say that, it means we are holistically talking about the entire country. Honorable Speaker, we take cognizance of all the issues raised, and as a committee, I want to promise, Honorable Speaker, we'll synchronize all this and come up with an acceptable document that will serve this country behold today. Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dorothy. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies.
This is by the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, and I am informed that Honorable Dorothy Kiara, you are the one who is moving this motion on behalf of the chair. You may proceed. Yes, what is out of order, member for Buri?
Madam Speaker, this is a very important agreement for the House to rectify, because it falls under international treaty agreement and World Health Organization. To be fair to the committee and to be fair to the mover, this House lacks the quorum to listen and to pick up the motion as it is. So I'm asking that the Speaker, you consider this on the request of starting order number 35.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Buri. Honorable members, the Honorable Member has rose on standing order number 35, quorum during the proceedings of the House. And in line with that, I would like to order that quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. Honorable members, clearly, we are not able to raise quorum to transact business. And the time being 5 minutes past 6 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 3rd June 2025 at 2:30 p.m.